expert discourse on RPW Act 2016 and opportunities and challenges in mental health. This is a burning topic, and we should be well aware of right of panelists. He will share his experience and give us valuable and practical inputs with his talk. Now I welcome Dr. Prasad Rao sir, past president of Indian Psychiatry Society and president-elect Asian Federations of Psychiatric Associations, our chief patron. Thank you, sir, for your cooperation. Hello, sir. Prasad Rao sir, good evening, sir. I welcome Dr. P.K. Dalal sir, our beloved IPS president. Sir, hello, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. And I welcome Dr. Gautam Saha sir, vice president and president-elect of Indian Psychiatry Society. Hello, sir. Gautam Saha sir, good evening, sir. I welcome Dr. T.S. Rao sir, General Secretary of Indian Psychiatry Society. Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening. All the best for the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I welcome our chairman, Dr. Macheswala sir, to whom I respect him for his magnanimity. Good evening, sir. I also welcome our co-chairman, Dr. P.N. Shukla sir, who has been guiding us from the start. I'm happy to be associated with our coordinator and direct council member of Indian Psychiatry Society, Dr. Kalam Siddiqui sir. Hello, sir.
Hi, Vishal bhai. Good evening.
I'm happy to be associated with our members, Dr. Vijay Harvi Shettar and Dr. Fanikant Kondaparthi, who have been active in organizing the programs. Hello, Dr. Fanikant. I welcome you all. Now I would like to request Dr. Prasad Rao sir to introduce our moderator come chief guest, Dr. Jaj Reddy sir, IAPV President, Telangana State Branch. Prasad Rao sir. Hello.
Vishal, I think sir has another program.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, I will introduce. Dr. V. Jaj Reddy, consultant psychiatrist, Healthy Brain Clinic and Hospital, Tirumalagiri, Alwal, Secunderabad. His qualification, MBBS from Kakatiya Medical College, Warangal, Telangana, and DPM from Guntur Medical College, Andhra Pradesh. And clinical practice, Healthy Brain Clinic and Hospital, Tirumalagiri. And he has done many activities, and now he's running rural clinics at Gajwel and Siddipet. And current positions, now he is president of Indian Association of Private Psychiatric Telangana State, and also treasurer Telangana Private Psychiatric Hospitals and Nursing Homes Association, and past president Hyderabad Psychiatric Society 2017 to 2018, founder general secretary of Indian Psychiatry Society Telangana State Branch, honorary consultant to Missionaries of Charity, Mother Teresa at Secunderabad and Vijayawada, and SPES Charity De-Addiction Clinic, Hyderabad, Bovenpalli, and Don Bosco Navajivan Home for the Street Children, and honorary consultant to Sahayam Osmania University, Hyderabad, and areas of interest, substance abuse and de-addiction and child psychiatry, especially ADHD, autism and intellectual disability, and rehabilitation and licensed psychiatry. His past experiences, consultant psychiatrist for National Institute for the Mentally Handicapped Children, mentally handicapped, Secunderabad, and is honorary consultant to World Health Organization in the field of intellectual disability. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Jaj, sir.
Thank you, Vishal.
Sir, now I would like to request Jaj, sir, please start the proceedings.
Thank you, Vishal, for introducing me to the audience. At the outset, first, I think I should thank IPS for giving the Public Education Awareness Committee this wonderful platform. And definitely, we should thank Dr. P.K. Dalal sir, Dr. Gautam Saha, and our dynamic secretary, Dr. T.S. Rao sir, and K.K. Mishra, Dr. K.K. Mishra, and Dr. Om Prakash sir. and Dr. Machiswala sir, Shukla sir, and wonderful job, Vishal. I think you have selected a topic which is close to my heart, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to be here in front of the august audience. Without taking much time, I think, Vishal, first I think I will introduce Dr. Thomas John sir. I think sir needs no introduction, but still a few lines from his golden treasure. Dr. Thomas John sir is the chairperson for the IPS Task Force Disability Certification, and he is the current president for the IPS Kerala State, and he was awarded with the best doctor from the government of Kerala in 2008, and he was awarded the best doctor on Doctors Day, IMA Kerala State 2009, and he was the past editor of IPS Kerala. He is the immediate past treasurer for the IPS South Zone, and he was the past president for the Ernakulam Kochi Psychiatric Society, and he is the author of many books on disability. And at this juncture, I would like to show all our audience. This is one book I think sir gifted me. It's really, this is the 3rd edition. I was told sir has got the 4th edition. It's one book I think which we all should have. It is a handbook on disability certification for psychiatrists. I think if you don't have the copy, please, I think you should call up Dr. Thomas John sir and take a copy. It gives you a full detail of about disability. And today's topic, sir is going to deal with rights of person with disability, the Rpwd Act, 14 December 2006. I think we all know how much effort our people took for this dream to come, to help and to protect the rights of persons with disability. I think without taking much time, Vishal, I think we should ask Dr. Thomas John sir to take over. Vishal, am I missing anything? Unmute yourself, Vishal.
Hello.
Hello. Vishal,
Can I
shall we
start?
go ahead?
Hello, sir. I welcome Dr. O.P. Singh, sir, and I welcome Dr. K.K. Mishra, sir, for this webinar. Sir, O.P. Singh, sir. Hello, sir.
Here, no issues.
Sir.
Okay,
Vishal,
sir.
already
Good evening,
welcome, no issues. Start.
Sir, enjoying the car drive. Sir, Thomas John, sir.
You
Sir,
can
over to
attend
you,
from
sir.
here. Good
Eager
evening.
to hear from you, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, my dear friends. At the outset, I thank the IPS office bearers, especially our president and Dr. Vishal is after this, and I know how much effort he is taking to have a program every week. It's nice, and it is a blessing for our president that so many activities are going on under Dr. Vishal, and I think it's a good initiative from a young psychiatrist. Good evening, my dear friends, respected president, esteemed senior members, and my dear friends. Let me start straight away. I will. One problem I have found is that while I share my slides, somehow you may not be able to. I may not be visible but audible. So I think it won't be a problem. So shall I share my screen? So the program is getting opened. So somehow at the outset, see, this disability task force was formed quite a few years back in our IPS, especially by the initiative of Dr. E. Mohan Das. He was the past president. But later, at that time, it was not there. But later, he found that this is very important, just like Mental Health Care Act, very need for our patients, because many of our patients are poor people. They will not get some social benefits unless we take initiative. So he advised me to go ahead when I started in the beginning. So I thank him at the outset. And it was started during the time of Dr. Vajpayee and Dr. N. Raju, they introduced first. They also need some credit for this. So let me start with my slides instead of going much into all these things. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay. See, today within an half an hour, we may not be able to cover much things. We may have to touch here and there. Just I will say a few words about the important features of this act. Then what are the opportunities and what are the challenges we the psychiatrists are facing. Then in a nutshell, what WHO specifically say about disability and certification. That is the real world, not from tertiary care centers. Majority of the people are poor and residing in the rural areas. So the WHO guideline is for that. And my presentation is 50% for that guideline so that in future you may be able to understand what we have to do in. Then the new technique of digitalization that is known as UDID card. They will get a card like just like your PAN card. Then something about the carry home message. When you come to the overview of the act, see the new act is based upon UNCRPD, means United Nations Conventions for Rights of Persons with Disabilities. India is a signatory to this act, this convention. So naturally, we had to convert all the existing acts into a right-based thing. It is not a charity. It is their right, right of a woman, right of a child, right of a disabled. Just like every human being, they have got their rights are always sidelined. So that's why a new act has been proposed, and it is known as a Rights of Person with a Disability Act. It is a conversion from PWD Act to right of the persons with them. So more or right oriented. See, disability always results from not only from impairment. When there is some barriers is there, attitudinal barriers, attitude of the society, attitude of the bureaucracy, attitude of the professionals, all these create problem for them. Environmental barriers. Of course, that is also important. We all believe in psychosocial, biopsychosocial model. So naturally, the environment is equally important for any disability, including mental health disability. See, persons with mental illness are more marginalized than other person with disabilities. If your disability is from a mental illness, naturally they are marginalized. They may not go for their right. Hence, we, the psychiatrists, have to fight for them. That is the importance of IPS. The rights of person with mental illness are same as person with disabilities, but somehow they are marginalized. Rights of PWDs are same as any citizen. They have to participate in full as well as in equal basis as per our law. So that is the basis for any law. There are 17 chapters with 102 sections, but all are not important for us, and it will take a lot of time and it will be boring for you if you listen to all of them. So when you come to the chapter 2, it means about non-discrimination, equality, especially for women and children within the disability group. What about their community life? They have to be protected from the cruelty and inhuman treatment, abuse, violence, exploitation. They should be safe at home, in the family, outside. They have got reproductive rights. So naturally, they have the right for marriage. So we cannot prevent a mentally ill patient from on the basis that it is you are mentally not sound. So it is their right. Let them decide. But everything should be open. Everything should be clear. In my experience, if they go for a marriage with admitting that they are mentally ill, they are more or less stable. For the last 10 years, I have got some statistical record where two people, without admitting that they are mentally ill, they got married and it got separated. So we always tell them, you tell the difficulties and everything. If somebody come as a partner, you take them. Otherwise, don't cheat them like that. So they have also the right for justice, the right for legal capacity, the right for guardianship. All are their rights. when you come to the chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6, their educational rights are inclusive educations. That is it. If they are disabled, as per the law, we cannot put them in a separate school. They have to be given admission to the nearest school. So all these things are there. Even in the Educational Act of 2009, many things are copied here also. They should get the skill to develop. Their skill development is important. Social security, health, rehabilitation, recreation, all are their rights. And 5% of jobs are reserved for higher education. Sorry, 5% of seats are reserved for higher education, not for jobs. There is not categorized. So mentally ill patients, if they are still stable, they can study under that category if they get a disability certificate on that. Job reservation, when it comes, there is categorization for mentally ill patients, along with other mental health related disabilities and multiple disabilities, only one person, one for blindness, one for hearing impairment, one for locomotor disability, and one for this. That is the classification or categorization of that 4%. But when you come for higher education, there is no categorization. So naturally, patients with mental disabilities may be sidelined, only orthopedically handicapped or people with blindness or all this. Anyway, there is a lot of controversy in it, even within ours. So it is something which has to be sorted out. So in the chapter 10 and 16, it says, once they apply for a certification, it has to be given within 1 month. That is his right. Even in major institutions now, it is going beyond 1 month, telling so many excuses. Of course, now it's the COVID season, so naturally we are excused. Even before that, even in major institutions, it was delayed. If it is delayed, there can be punishments, and punishments can go up to even 5 lakhs if it is repeated. So many things are there within the act, but our innocent people do not know all these things. So chapter 17 is very important. Every practitioner, whether you are a psychiatrist or a general practitioner, you should know. See, application of other laws are not barred. That is in the clause 96. When we study about the Mental Health Care Act or the Rpwd Act or any act, we are scared. Oh, we are unable to do anything. No. Section 89 protects a doctor from anything. What is actually Section 89? It says, if you do something for the good, in good faith and for the good of the patient, especially a child and mentally disturbed patients, those who are low capacity to, and even if something happens wrong, law protect you under IPC 89. When we talk about Mental Health Care Act or Disability Act, somehow we forget about all these things. We are still protected. So that is why I tell my friends, there are other laws to protect you, especially Section 89. Everybody should know that you are protected if you are doing something in good faith, if you are able to prove it. Especially the 89 says, anything you good for a child, in good faith for a child and mentally disturbed patient, even if something goes wrong, the 89, Section 89 of Indian Penal Code protect you apart from this, all these new acts. So we should understand all these things. Protection of action, in that is 97, again repetition. Power to remove difficulties. There are Section 98 says central government can, House of Parliament can remove something which is difficult for us, but somehow these things IPS should know. Then only, without knowing what is there in the law, how can we fight? So there are provisions, Section 98 codes very well that anything which is difficult, an august body like IPS can very well request for it. Power to amend schedule, 99. So all these things. So apart from these 16 chapters, if you ask me, somehow when somebody presents something, they forget about the chapter 17, but that is very well, it is, nobody has removed. Any act will come. It may be very tough for us, but chapter 17 still exists there, which protects us, anything we do in good faith. Okay. Let us see what are the opportunities. This is actually a case scenario happened in Cochin, my place. Mr. A is suffering from a long-standing mental illness. He lost his parents within a period of 3 months. There is sufficient money in the bank, but he is the only son, and he had a repeated hospitalization he needed in the past when the parents were there. Now nobody is to take care of him. His relatives wanted a guardian. Honorable Court did not appoint a guardian, saying that under Mental Health Care Act, it has to be decided by a board. But unfortunately, at that time, this is somewhere in 2019 earlier, in Kerala, there was no board was not there. The board under the MHCA was not constituted. Even I doubt whether it is fully constituted everywhere. So that without a review board, court say you cannot come here. You go to the court, owner, this is a review board. If they deny, you come here like that. So what the poor people do. So fortunately, the lawyer has studied the Rpwd Act very well, and it is case is registered in the District Court of Ernakulam, Kerala, under Wakaf. This is a case number. It is all under Rpwd Act Section 14. So what is this Section 14? It deals with the provision of giving a guardian. Limited guardian means appointment of a guardian for a definite purpose and for a limited period. And if the patient needs guardianship repeatedly, you can convert it into a total guardianship. And now the patient is in a rehab center in the nearby district Trichur, because it is a that Advocate Tina, who is very much well versed in all these Disability Act, Mental Health Care Act. So, and the judge also wanted to help this boy because studying his PT situations. So, what is Section 14? It says that a district court can directly involve in it. The Act says. So they need not wait for any board or anything. That is why we could get it materialized. So the Section 14, I don't think in across India, many states are still pending with this MHCA Act, review board and everything. So any patient, you can get admitted under this code. You just got the Section 14 of Rpwd Act, and it is very well done in Kerala. That is, this is the case number also. You can very well caught and get it done. So what are the other opportunities apart from this job reservation is there, which I have mentioned earlier. 1% job reservation is there. Higher education, 4% total. So if our patients are competent enough and capable of studying for higher education, but repeated episodes of admission, relapse, recurrence, if they prevent from it, they can get into that quota for an admission. And pension, that is very important, social benefits and pension. These are all within the local government and state government. So I am not going much into it. So that is all. Then now we will come to the challenges which we are facing. See, inclusion of SLD along with the quantifiable disease disability is a big problem. Because SLD has not a quantifiable scale. So if we include SLD under this thing, it is creating problem for the psychiatrist. Government even they insist to produce 40%, but there is no scale. Imams is also not yet produced, and they are not able to produce a quantifiable scale. They can just say this child is weak in mathematics, you exempt in mathematics. Once it is exempted and he passed through it, he may be very good in humanities. So what reservation you can suggest for them? So it is a big legal battle will be there, which I am not going into detail. Another thing is SLD is also a child psychiatry subject, but somehow psychiatrists are not included. So this with the representation only we can get it back into it. Person with mental health disabilities are more marginalized among the other marginals that I have already explained. Then you go to see, along with the act, there are guidelines. There are guidelines how to do it. So when you go to guideline, there are a few conditions. One is they say for intellectual disability, Government of India recommends BSMS, Finland Social Maturity Scale. Why? It is very simple. Even a trained medical graduate, if he is trained and interested, he can do it. No need for, because 85-90% of the patients are in the rural areas where you will not get a tertiary care for all these things. So, you know, those who are sitting in major hospitals or residing in cities, we use these clinical psychologists, assess the IQ. Based on the IQ, we decide the ID. But Government of India in the guideline, they insist on BSMS. But unfortunately, the interpretation it has given wrong, because the esteemed persons who are in that board might have overlooked it. Then for SLD, second one is there is no proper scale for SLD. That is also a lacuna. But NIMHANS is trying for 10th and 12th, but not for any higher education purpose or anything. But still, that problem will still exist there. Then number 3 is formula for calculation for multiple disabilities. See, disability, whether it is a single disability or multiple disability, the range is from 0 to 100. Suppose a person has 100% disability in blindness. If he is 100, along with 4%, he is a disability in locomotor. It is not going up, it is 100. So the calculation is total disability is equal to A plus. A means the major disability, B is the second disability or the minor disability, into 90 minus A. Here, if you using this formula, the maximum disability is 90. There was a confusion in the WhatsApp group and other things. That's why I thought it. In fact, in the previous act, it was 100 instead of 90. But I don't know, when the new act come, they put it 90, because in the locomotor area, they use this slide, because nobody is using 100% of his ability, especially for locomotor activities. So according to them, the maximum ability is 90. So maximum disability also will be 90. So that is why this formula came into existence. And it is very clear when it was drafted, the locomotor, if you go through the guideline, the locomotor people had the maximum influence in putting all their scales and everything like that. But anyway, after 80 and any scale less than 40 and any number more than 80 and less than 40 has not much significance. So you can very well forget it. Whether it is 80 disability or 90% disability, there is not much difference as far as the social disability is concerned. So as far as we are concerned, this 1 and 2 are more important. See, this is actually the mistake in the ID calculation, intellectual disability calculation, which is the lower portion. What I am showing is the disability calculation from that cutoff taken from that guideline. See, BSMS score 0 to 20, they say profound. See, it is related to the age. See, for a person, for 1.5 years of a child, a score 20 is normal. How can it be profound disability? Again, a mental age of BSMS score 55 is 5 years. So here they say between 55 and 69, they say it is mild. No, if the child is 5 years, it is normal. So always the score is related to the age, which somehow they forgot to bring it in the guideline, and it has become the official guideline. So it is really confusing. So those who are using that, forget it. It is a total mistake in it. Again, see, again, as per guidelines, 69 score is 50% disability. You see that 4 and 5 here. VSMS score 50 to 69. 69, according to them, is a mild disability. And VSMS score 70 is a disability 20%, 25. So what the hell difference between 69 and 70? So many such mistakes are there, which has to be keep in mind by psychiatrists or any person or a mental health professional who are doing it. So in fact, myself, along with Dr. Suresh is a biostatistician associated with Amrita, and he too prepared it related to age. So, and in fact, Professor Rajesh Sagar was saying that he will represent it to the Government of India Disability Social Justice Department to take it as this chart for easy reference. See, for about say 1 year, what is a 40%? The score should be 10.2. If it is 5 years, 33.6, like that. So we have to go to the nearest table. If it is a 36, like that. So again for 15 years. So based on the percentage of disability in one line, age in another. Age is always related. Scores are related to you have to the disability you have to calculate based on the age of the patient. So this scale I have included in my new yellow colored book. It is very useful, I think. Instead of just copying what the government of, it is somehow a mistake only because they forgot to correlate with the age. And anybody who is trained in it know that age is a factor which decides the score. So this is very important. This is a study of 10 countries: Australia, Canada, India, Nepal, South Africa, Taiwan, UK, and USA. 4 countries, middle income group countries, and rich countries. In all this is what is the role of psychiatrists. In the first column, I have written the scale they are using. In India, they are using the IDEA scale. What is where the patient has to apply? In India, they have to apply to medical board, and certificate authority is the medical board. What is the role of the psychiatrist? In different countries, you know, in Canada, in Australia, it is they have only a diagnostic part. In Canada, also medical assessment and report they have to give. But here in India, it is a member. Nepal also, they have to. So in almost all countries, whether it's a middle income, low income, or higher income, in my study, it is found that they have to, duty of the doctor is mainly to diagnose and say, yes, this gentleman or this patient has got disability due to this illness. Okay, that is best. The rest is with the social justice department or the related department. In the United States, it is a social security department. In Australia, it is a human service department. So many departments are there in different countries, and they have got their own scales, like our IDEA scale. And gradually, remember me, after the Rpwd Act, we are also shifting because disability, they have put it into 3 categories. One is disability, non-disability, or sorry, person with a disability up to 40%, no benefit. Person with benchmark disability, 40% and above. Patient with benchmark disability who need eye support needs. So these are the 3 categories. So even if your disability is 1%, if you are having a mental illness and you are totally recovered, even now you are in the disability group, but not eligible for any group. So everybody has to be, whether you are in a private setup or government setup or in a quasi-government setup, you should understand, as per the Rpwd Act, 3 categories are there. One is person with a disability, but less than 40%. Leave them. They are like so everybody may have some deafness, some impairment here and there. Instead of 5 finger, they may have 6 finger, some scoliosis, some kyphosis, but none of these are coming up to 40%. So our own patients also may have some little bit difficulties. So they may have 1 or 2 attacks, but they are not eligible for a disability. So 40% is a benchmark disability, 40% and above. So if you need high support need, then it is another group. That nowadays it is decided by the social justice department. They have to give it, and they have started board and everything in almost in Kerala it is almost full now. I don't know about the other state. Social justice department is not like health department. What I understand is things are very quick and more or less more systematic and in order. So we hope that this board and everything will be formed everywhere in all over India. This you have to keep in mind. Gradually, the role of a psychiatrist will go to from sitting in the board and certifying, it will gradually go into their hand, because most of us think that it is none of our business, and it is true also. So it can be taken in either way. So instead of putting all the trouble, you diagnose that this patient has or had it, and now the existing disability has been accounted to his illness. That's all about that slide. So now we will come to WHO guidelines. WHO says that forget about all the scales. You use your international classification of diseases for diagnosis and international classification of functioning for disability assessment. So India is also a signatory to that. So in a nutshell, WHO says that a single generic instrument is essential, or single generic instrument is based on the cognition, mobility, self-care, getting along, life activities, participation. If this is involved, whether it is across different cultures and except for children and adolescents, there is irrespective of a physical disability or mental health disability, WHO comes for a single generic instrument. So gradually we will shift to it, because most of the disabilities are in the rural areas. So big scales which are constructed which are formulated in big institutions, good. It should be very good for academic purpose. When it good from a practical disability certificate, we have to think of this also. So in a nutshell, ICD plus ICF makes the disability case. So what is the carry-over message? Psychiatrists should stay connected with the disability and certification. Many of us are avoiding it. They say, no, it is our patient may get some pension or something out of it. So we need some simple scales which are usable across the nowadays under the UDID, government is planning to make so many camps. So you need simple scales based on that 5 domains which has been proposed by, and the ideas has very well copied it. Krebs scale and ready reckoner I made, because the consultants who are sitting for the disability board, they are helpless. Patient, this crowd is there, they have to finish it. They can do it too. So one more suggestion is tertiary centers. They can include in their disability medical report about the disability level when the patient comes, so that a psychiatrist or a civil surgeon who is sitting in a rural area may be able to help that poor patient instead of again sending him to a major institution. So this is actually a comment from Professor Mohan Isaac. In that green book which Dr. George has shown, he has written that unlike the assessment, when you come to certification, there are problems and confusions. Like that, in the index case which I presented in the beginning, that boy need a patient with a disability with a high support need. So if you just apply the scale, which idea scale, you may not reach there, that poor people. So it is the wisdom of the psychiatrist or the person decide, depending upon your consciousness, specific problems you have to address based on of your clinical sense and your experience. Don't depend or trust totally on take it that this scale is 100%. No scale can be 100%. That is why WHO is going for a generic. If you want to help your patient, depending upon the situation, that first patient, he needed an hospitalization and a guardianship. If you don't issue a certificate, if it is a first episode mental illness, if you are denying for who will help them if the Mental Health Act is not established? If a review board is not established, they have to apply this one. So the psychiatrist has to be little bit flexible from the structured these structured scales. That is what. So Professor, when Dr. Mohan said when he wrote, I did not understand the thing. When you come to the real ground situations, sometimes you have to be a little bit flexible. That is what I think you mean by it. So this is my new book, Practical Guidelines for Disability Certification in Mental Health. And All based on the new act, I have written the simple practical procedures. So anybody who is interested, it can be there. These are the references, mainly the Gazette of India's, then my own previous books with Professor Avasti, Dr. Ramasubramaniam and Radhakrishnan, my own previous books and editorial I have taken. Thank you very much. This is my WhatsApp number and email ID. So anybody who needs this hard copy, you just send a WhatsApp or mail to this email. I can arrange to get you it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patient listening. And half an hour may not be sufficient for such a long topic, but somehow I try to fix it that time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think indeed it is a very lucid presentation, sir. I'm sure it was very useful.
Yeah.
And
I was audible throughout.
yes, sir. I think it's definitely a bird's eye view, sir. I think you need more hours for this topic.
Yeah.
Sir, before I go on to the question, sir, I've worked in this institute called National Institute for the Mentally Handicapped, which deals with children with disability. It's under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment.
Yeah.
So what I noticed there, sir, many of our patients who come, they rely on a certificate, which is the IQ certificate, and thereby they get a disability certificate, and there are so many things attached to it. It could be a monthly pension, it could be a travel pass, or it could be so many issues, sir.
Yeah.
But
That is for intellectual disability, you mean, Dr. George?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mental disability. At this juncture, sir, I think we as psychiatrists, sir, I think IPS should take up, sir, and you being the chairperson for the STARS committee, I think we psychiatrists should be trained to assess the IQ in a detailed way like a clinical psychologist does. Because, sir, in fact, there are many places where there are no clinical psychologists. Our psychiatrists play the role as a medical officer, as a psychiatrist, and giving a certificate also. So I think IPS should take up this task, sir, because certification needs a comprehensive approach. At least it might need 3-4 days where they have to be trained, sir. This is just my humble submission, sir. Shall we take up the question, sir?
Yes, definitely.
If any questions, please. I think Dr. Vignesh has raised his hand.
Yeah, he has raised his hand.
Dr. Vignesh, are you there?
Dr. Vignesh's hand is there raised. Prasad just one day. So
can you promote them to the panelists? I think they'll be able to talk.
Maybe their mic is mute.
Dr. Prasad, can you unmute yourself, sir?
Can you unmute? Then, hello?
Yes, sir. Any questions from the audience, please?
So can you now hear?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, please share your vision, sir, in the context of the challenges that you shared.
Pardon?
Please share your vision about the challenges that you have presented, sir. What kind of execution can solve these problems?
Challenges. One is, main challenge is that psychiatrists who are dealing with the child psychiatry, in child psychiatry, SLD is an important thing. But I don't know how can they ignore that when psychiatrists are, when the board is constituted, they say it is not a business for psychiatrists. So it is a basic mistake somehow. proper representation to the government, and lobbying only make it possible. See, many things, good lobbying is important. That is
Good
what I
lobbying.
understand.
Okay.
If politicians have so many hundreds of business, they may not be able to have time to listen to us. So somebody in Delhi should be deputed and go on presenting, meeting, and having all these things. Then only
Can
it is.
this gazette notification be challenged in the Supreme Court?
But that is a can be. I think so. Better IPS have got some very lawyers are there within our group, and that can be. I think. Yes.
Because such a erroneous document, it needs to be challenged in that case.
Mhm.
First we have approach, then do it. Proper approach at the ministry level. Social Justice Department has approved it, but Law Department have put a query in it. By that time, the COVID appeared and everything has come to a standstill. So it is halfway now, in a way, because of the persistent effort of our IPS office bearers. Because the task force can only recommend. It is the office bearers, they are after it. So halfway it is there. Social Justice Department has approved it. They understood that now it is a legal department that to clear it. But it is somewhere in January or February, it was almost there. Now we have to wait till the COVID is over. Maybe another 2-3 months we have to wait, take up the whole issue again and find out it. That is what I feel. Don't hesitate. Then if it is not possible, go for a legal battle.
Okay, sir.
So something which is halfway, better try for it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I think can I ask another question, sir?
Yeah, definitely. Any good.
Sir, let us take this situation, sir. A person with disability is on some domestic violence where
Yeah.
he is not able to get proper attention, sir. Is there can he approach the government directly, sir? Will he be taken up on any kind of legal help? Is there any place they can approach, sir?
Yes, yes. Legal service authorities are there under the National Legal NLCA is there, National Legal Service Authority, state is there, district level is there, even now in taluk list. Let them go to the legal service authority. It is totally free. And judges, they will take it. Secretary, member secretary is there. He will take it. No fee they have to. Only thing is they
Sir.
have to approach.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So
I
even
think, sir,
for disabled, it is there. Legal service. Kerala, we are done much things through KELSA, Kerala Legal Services Authority. Actually, the case which I pointed out is based on the direction from the KELSA only we model, the advocate model like that. This is because they know the law better than us. They studied the act well. Okay.
I think, Alim bhai, any questions from you?
Sir, a very basic question, maybe a repetition of what you have already told us. Why should a psychiatrist know about RPWD?
Excuse me, Ali bhai, can you a little louder?
So why should a psychiatrist know about RPWD?
But you mean why?
Why should I
Why?
know?
Yes.
See, we should know. It is a law. First and foremost thing, it is a law of the land. So everybody should know it, especially a professional who is practicing it. Second thing is, our patients are, much of our patients belong into this group. Mental illness patients, especially you might have listened to the first witness case presentation which I have done. A mental health care cannot give him an admission. RPWD Act Section 14 helped him to get admission into a rehabilitation center and take treatment because he is a person with a disability who need high support. So there is a category like that. The court was there, law is there. So we should know it. Many of our ignorance only. We think that disability, many people Why many people does not know that mental illness is a disability now. At least during this International Disability Day, I am planning a public function apart from for us, because just to say the message that mental illness is also a disability, so they also can get the benefits under them. So a psychiatrist should know it, to save your patient, to give proper guidance to them. If he is a poor, let him get a social benefit of pension of 1,000 rupees. The Kerala government is giving 1,300 rupees. At least it is sufficient to buy medicine when the DMSP medicines are stopped.
Yes.
So suppose someone wants to open a center.
Yeah.
So with a daycare center sort of. So
Yeah.
how should one register under this RPWD Act?
See, if you ask me, I don't see. If you are taking only of mental health, it goes to Mental Health Care Act, not under this. But there are very lawfulness. There are some centers here, care centers. If you are opening a care center, you can admit elderly patients, all these mentally ill, not mentally ill. Then Social Justice Department, their registration is sufficient. So these are all things which I don't know how it operates in your state. So if you are a little bit shrewd and intelligent, you can manipulate all these things, which I may not be able to nice to openly say here. So there are people who are just to say care center. Then there are totally mentally ill patients are not there. There are patients, but little bit neuropsychiatric complications are there. So then MS Act will not come and disturb them. They say it's a care center. So little bit change in the name, you can do all these things, which is not nice to discuss in a forum like this, because we don't know who are all listening to it. They may say that I am against. No. So if you are planning a mental health care patient, those who are patient on mental illness or psychiatric patient, go with Mental Health Care Act. And until that act is properly implemented, you can say some of your patients putting under person with a disability and give the benefit under that act. And if the judge is convinced, if the law is convinced, you are safe. In fact, the district judge wanted to help this boy. Everybody was wanted. Kelsa wanted to. Legal Service Authority people wanted to help, because they know all are straightforward people, and this fellow is disturbed. Long-standing schizophrenia is having. Repeated admission during his parent time. Now they are nobody there. Now a guardian is there, money is there in their bank, everything is now. So until the Mental Health Care Act is properly implemented, RPWD Act to take care of it. And the institution is also not well, because it is a court order. They are also happy now.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Sir, to my knowledge, sir, if Alimbhai, I think if you want to look at children and persons with intellectual disability, the old mental retardation, only the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, they give the license. It's under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. But our mental illness rehabilitation, I think they also certify. But again, as Dr. Thomas John sir is saying, I think we need to be a little careful when it comes to mental illness.
Yeah.
There is one question, sir.
Yes.
No, sir. It is really great work we have been doing, sir. We are grateful for in terms of disability. Only thing I want to say that we should encourage, as you have mentioned already, that we should do ideas on our own and give certificate to the patient and ask them to have disability certificates from the board, because psychiatrists are allowed. So even in private practice, we should encourage our people to get the certificate. And for that, we should provide idea score to them and then send them to the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is one question, sir.
Yes.
This is from Dr. Archana Singh. Government puts up various disability camps where certificates have to be given without any thorough assessment. How justifiable is delivering certificate in such setting, and what should be the mindset of the psychiatrist in such conditions?
May, excuse me, may I know from which state madam is asking? Any idea, madam? Because these things are varying from, because Government of India is now introducing UDID. That is means digitalization of all these things.
Sir,
from
pardon,
Bihar
sir.
only.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Madam
I
is
don't know
from
how far
Bihar.
it is. Yeah.
Sir, madam is
How
from
far
Bihar.
it is advanced in Bihar, I don't know. In Kerala, it is Government of India selected 10 states. Kerala was one among the first phase, and for digitalization. So for that thing, they are conducting camps across the city. But if the treatment record is there, suppose you need not, that is why I say ICD use it. If the patient has got treatment records from reliable sources like institutions or whom you know, major institutions or from psychiatry for many years, and now you think that he is disabled in the sense that unable to earn his livelihood or something. This what is the harm in giving it? That is what WHO says. You go by ICD, the diagnosis, and the functional analysis by ICF, International Classification of Functioning, based on 5 domains. WHO wants everything to be done quick because this is possible in a country like India. Nobody is there to take them home like that. In a country like India, most of the countries, third world countries are like this. That is why WHO says, do not go for structure scales. You go for simple scales and give it. See, for me, if a patient is getting treatment from major institutions or different institutions, reliable institutions for a few years, I trust it. Patient may run from hospital to hospital. That it is their right and their choice. They can choose. Why should we bother it? If you think that by asking a few questions, you can understand the genuinity of that certificate.
Exactly.
And if you think that he is disabled by inquiring from the parents or the bystander who has come along with them, neighbor from the patient, what was his previous job, now what is he doing, you can give a certificate if you think it is. That is why I put the WHO guideline into it. You cannot do a certification in disability with a structured scale. That is will not happen in a country like India. It will be stagnated.
Thank you, sir. I think as there are no more questions, thank you, Dr. Thomas John, sir. I think it was wonderful, sir. Wish we hear from you, sir. And please try to influence our IPS, sir, in considering how to give our psychiatrists this IQ certification training program, sir. I think it will help all our juniors and in fact all of us. I think we will have more confidence because you see, sir, many questions are asked on this. In a short time, how do we do an assessment like a clinical psychologist does? I think I would thank, if I didn't thank these 3 people, I think I would be incomplete. Thank you, Dr. Alim Bhai. Thank you, Dr. Vijay, Dr. Fanikant, and Vishal. You are doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Dr. Machiswala, sir, and Dr. P.N. Shukla, sir. Over to Dr. Vishal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, OP Singh, sir, sir, I would like to request Dr. OP Singh, sir, say some few words, sir. OP Singh, sir.
I've already said that it has been, I know sir has doing wonderful work in disability.
Sir.
And this is an eye-opener and it must be very useful webinar. A lot of people have joined. And I think that every psychiatrist should be aware of what are the provisions and help our patient to get the benefits.
Sir, sir.
Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Alim, sir, any few words? Sir, Alim, sir.
Yeah, thanks Vishal Bhai for organizing this. I think we should thank Thomas John, sir. I think we should have him more on the webinars so that he makes us aware of all the nitty-gritties. And I hope whenever we invite, he'll join us again. And thank you all the panelists and the attendees. So it was, I think, a very crisp and finishing on time program. So every protocol was followed, I think. Thank you so much, everyone.
And
Thank
Dr.
you all for your patient listening. Thank you, Vishal.
Dr. Fanikant, I would like to request Dr. Fanikant say some few words. Hello, Fanikant. Okay, sir. And Dr. Prasad Rao, sir. Dr. TSS Rao, sir. Gautam Saha, sir. So I think, so sir, I would like to tell vote of thanks, sir. Vote of thanks, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to all. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to the dignitaries attended today. I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Jaz Reddy, sir, for making his valuable presence and doing the honors. I would like to thank our speaker, Dr. Thomas Jan, sir, for his expert talk. And there was a lot of confusion regarding procedural issues earlier, but with your talk, you made it very clear, sir. I express my gratitude on behalf of Public Education and Awareness Committee. I would like to thank our patron, Dr. Prasad Rao, sir, and Dr. P.K. Dalal, sir, Dr. Gautam Saha, sir, Dr. T.S.S. Rao, sir, and Dr. K.K. Mishra, sir, Dr. O.P. Singh, sir, Chairman, Dr. Machisola, sir, Co-Chairperson, Dr. Shukla, sir, and member, coordinator and direct council member, Dr. Alim Siddiqui, sir, and Dr. Vijay Harvi Shettar, and Dr. Fanikant, all over, and participants and consultants all over the country. Ever enthusiastic audience, so the technical team, and last but not the least, the pharma people, Ramya and Arun Raj, for contributing to the success of this webinar. And once again, I thank one and all for attending this program, and good night.
Vishal,